Okay, what we're about to do now is take you through an active dynamic warm-up for a high CNS training day of development of alactic power and or capacity depending on where we are in our training block. One thing to keep in mind is when we do our activation drills, when we do our mobility work, it really causes the brain to change the way it patterns movement, and the whole goal of this is to help the body secure the biomechanical movement efficiency. Usually we'd start with some type of form of heart rate elevation. For that, our athletes would stride 100 yards, walk back 20, stride 80 yards, walk 40 yards, stride 60 yards, walk back 60 yards, and then stride 40 yards. That's how we would introduce to elevate our heart rate. From there we go what we call ground-based activation. So I'm going to take Ryan through a series of ground-based activation drills we use for our high CNS training session. First thing he's going to do is going to be a quadruped series. We're going to go scorpions or heel to sky, hip, knee to ankle. Ankles are dorsiflexed or toes pulled up. All he's going to do is lift his heel to the sky. But what I want him to make sure he does is pelvis stays parallel to the ground. So as he lifts, go ahead, Ryan. That's all the higher it has to go. I don't want him to recruit from a lower lumbar. People make too big of movements out of scorpions, the fire hydrant drills, and the hip circles. What he's going to do is going to do 5 reps each side. All right, let's go to the other side. Making sure the pelvis stays parallel to the ground. All I want to do is activate and turn on the glute in preparation for high CNS stimulus or speed work. Now he's going to go to fire hydrants or lateral abduction. And again, this is a small movement. We're making sure his pelvis is always parallel to the ground. You ever see people do this and they really open up and they start to recruit from a lower lumbar? I don't want that. We're just recruiting from the pelvic area. Now he's going to do a micro circle forward. Once again, notice the small circles. Notice the pelvis staying parallel. No recruitment from a lower lumbar. He's going to go forward, then he's going to go backwards. Again, he's going to repeat these on both sides for about 5 repetitions. This is all leading us into our speed work. We make sure we are very heated up before we start doing any speed work. Now to go over all of our speed and acceleration work would be another separate video because it's so intensive and extensive. So we're just going to take you through the active dynamic warm-up we would use for a high CNS alactic power or capacity day. Next, he's going to go once again to Superman's opposite arm, opposite leg. Hold each side for a 2 count. He's not going to start in an alternating pattern. He's just going to do one side, then switch to the other side. Now from here, after he does 3 reps, and make sure we extend straight back from the glute. Ankles always stay in dorsiflex. He's going to push his hips back onto his heels, go to a prayer stretch, hold for about 10 seconds. Inhale deeply and relax. We're dropping our respiration rate down to about 6 breaths a minute. Average respiration rate is 12 breaths a minute. We're going to drop it down to about 6 as he inhales and relax. From here, he's going to flip over on his back on a hook lying position again. He's going to pull his heels off the ground, arms are to the side. Feet are on the floor. Toes off. I'm sorry, toes off the ground. Activate his glutes and lift his glutes up as he does a double leg hip bridge. Now, just when you think you're high, push higher. I want to feel these glutes to be tightened and contracted. Keep step. His knee, his hips, his shoulders are going to be in a straight line. He's going to hold this position statically for about 10 seconds. Then I'm going to ask him to drop his hips and do dynamic for about 8 reps. Now, in the beginning progression, we start double leg, eventually move to single leg. But for all intended purposes right now, we're going to stay with a double leg glute bridge followed by double leg dynamic glute movement. After he's done about 8 reps, he's going to straighten both legs. Toes are back to knee. He's going to flex the quad on his right leg. This is called reciprocal inhibition. As he flexes this quad, this hamstring on this side is going to relax, contract, relax. He's going to do a lying straight leg raise on his right leg, about 8 reps. His lower back does not touch the ground. Notice nice and controlled. As he starts off controlled, he can start to move more ballistically. But he's going to do about 8 to 10 reps on each side. Now, one thing you need to understand is when Ryan is laying on the ground, the body does not have to seek stability. What are you going to do? Fall? You're already on the ground. So seeing that the body does not have to seek stability, it opens up more degree of freedom of movement. He has a greater range of motion which he can move through because there's no seeking of stability through the body. Now he's going to turn on his right side. We're going to do side lying AB80 adduction. Now when we do this, we're gonna roll our top hip forward just a little bit. His leg is straight, ankles dorsiflex. He's gonna turn his shoe down, pour the water out of shoe, and do 8 reps of side lying abduction. Now notice his hip is his top hip is slightly in front of the bottom hip. This activates more of the glute med, glute minus. When he's done, cross top leg over. Side lying adduction. Once again, the bottom leg is now straight, toe back to knee, and all you're gonna do is lift his bottom leg. Bottom leg, adduction. Now from this position, he's gonna pull both knees up to 90-90. The lower shank is gonna be at a 90-degree angle. From ankle to knee, from knee to hip, from hip to shoulder is all in a 90-degree angle. His knee is gonna stay in contact with the opposite knee, and all he's gonna do is separate his ankles for internal rotation amongst the hip. Do about 8 reps. No. Side lying internal rotation at 90 degrees. Now from here, he's gonna straighten both legs. Stay something on your side. Now, we're gonna start to ingrain in a low intensive manner the sprint pattern. When sprinting, we want to decrease what happens behind us or eliminate backside mechanics. So all Ryan is gonna do, once again, his freedom movement is greater because he's on the ground, not having to seek stability. All he's gonna do is calf smash, step toe over knee. This heel of this recovery leg is gonna aim for the toe of the ground support leg. So all he's gonna do is calf smash, step toe over knee in a cyclic pattern. This starts to ingrain into the motor system proper sprint mechanics. Once again, smash the calf into the hamstring. When he smashes the calf into the hamstring, good, pull up, his ankle is already in line with his hip joint. Now all he has to do is step over the knee, put the heel straight down into the toe of the ground support leg. In elite sprinters, as they bring the recovery leg through and they step over, because nobody steps under center of mass, the beginning or intermediate sprinter will land about 8 to 12 inches out in front of center of mass, where the elite sprinter will now land about 4 to 6 inches in front. Over 40 yards or over 100 yards, this adds up to a significant difference. So all we're trying to do is ingrain a proper motor pattern into the motor system by him lying on the ground, low intensive, body doesn't have to seek stability. We'll repeat these activities for both sides. He'll then stand up. The first movement prep he's gonna do is a walking quad stretch. Opposite arm, opposite leg as he moves forward. He's gonna grab opposite, take 3 steps forward, grab the other side, take 3 steps forward, grab the same side, right leg, left arm. He's gonna do each one of these movement prep drills for a total of 10 yards. After 10 yards, he'll walk 10 yards in a continuous fashion down the field till he's covered 100 yards. After we do our walking quad stretch, we're gonna walk for 10 yards. We're gonna do walking knee tucks. All Ryan's gonna do is pull his knee to chest. Notice the ankle is dorsiflex. Notice he's staying vertical. He's not going back into extension. Take 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, grab the other leg. Put the right leg grab, go 1, 2, 3, grab left leg, and done. Again, he'll continue that for 10 yards, walk 10 yards. The next movement prep we're gonna do is we're gonna do a walking forward lunge. Any chance we get to ingrain the proper sprint pattern into the motor system we're gonna use. So now when he does a lunge walk, he's gonna calf smash, step toe over knee,